Hey y'all, welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. Hey, I know we took like a really long break from this, but I'm not done with the Decolonizing Consumerism class. So this is one of those. Did you forget that? God, I hate fucking summer. So many bugs. Okay. Anyway, I want to talk about. So I got this download this morning about this course and everything, and the title I got was Paying to Live. And then I went to Canva after I got that, and I'm like, okay, Paying to Live, let me make a new page or a new topic. And then I saw what was next after what we did last time, which I think was the global warming. I don't know. But anyway, it's human suffering for the rich. So I think both of those things can go together. So we're gonna knock it out. All right. So what I first said was paying to live. I think that. So, okay, let's read a piece of Agenda 2030, which is the elite's plan to there was a Project 2020, okay, or Agenda 20, and then there's the Project 2025. So every 5 years they have these goals for their eugenics. God damn it, goals for eugenics and take over continued colonization of the planet. Hang on. Oh, there it went. Okay. Am I orange? Anyway. No, I like that. Okay, lighting is really important, especially when you're almost 40. Okay, so anyway, what? Oh, so Agenda 2030's slogan or whatever is, you will have nothing or you will own nothing, and you will be happy. Okay, so the Patriot Games just started. I mean, we're literally allowing this reality to continue. The way that all of these, Hollywood movies, it's so fascinating. Anyway, so paying to live. I think we've gotten to this point where, you have to have money in order to survive, right? And the distribution of that money is not equal by any means, in any way, at a global scale. So people are forced to sell their labor, right? Move their bodies and do certain things to earn a paycheck, money, and it's very little money, because if you have too much money, then you could tip the scales, obviously, right? So it's time that people like Miss Rachel and Michael and other good people are shifting the scales into and challenging these power dynamics. And Joe Fells was taken out last week because he was spreading too much truth. This is what they do, they being the powers that be. Bob Marley, Malcolm X, MLK, anyone who's had a substantial impact on the collective and has started to make Princess Diana, has made the JFK, okay. There's been tons and tons of people that have been killed for spreading the truth, right? Because the human suffering is what the rich need. They need us to suffer for them to continue to remain in power. And we are left with having to buy everything, right? We have to buy our food, we have to buy our clothes, we have to buy cleaning products, we have to buy hygiene products, we have to buy gas, we have to buy a car, we have to buy insurance of any kind, we have to buy lots of it. I think the thing that I was thinking in particular was, because this connection I want to make between Project 2030 and the paying to live is this subscription. The way that, so I'm from the 90s. Oh, you're on top of it. I have a whole, I'm gonna move you for 1 sec. These are DVDs. Last year I used my tax money to make sure that I had hard copy of all of the things that I like, for a few reasons, but it was a priority of mine. I also got myself a new CD collection. I mean, old music that I love, but new CDs. I got vinyl, I got a record player. I bought and decided to invest in tangible items because I know about Project 30. I know what the end goal is here. And in the midst of that, I want to be comfortable and I want to be able to, you know, I like tangible things. I'm from the 90s. I appreciate that. I bought a camera. You know, I bought things that I feel like I need. And I'm also at that point in my life when where I'm able to do so, right? Finally. But I was specifically thinking about subscriptions. I had lots of information, like download information, come through in 2017 about Bluetooth and about our cell phones, and particularly how we charge our cell phones. And the information I was getting, and I was in Los Angeles, was that we had to charge ourselves along with our cell phones, or like we became these beings that had to charge, right? So like the only thing like that could make that happen was if we had some sort of robotic aspect implanted into us, which is what Elon Musk is doing, right? Like, why aren't we being real about what they're actually doing? Why aren't we talking about CERN? Why aren't we talking about, you know, there's so much conversation and chatter, but a lot of it's speculation. And it's because, like, I heard another creator say this week, I can't believe I just said that, I heard someone else say this week that I really loathe the collective lexicon around technology. I fucking hate it. And just Gen Z's jargon. I think it's so weird because all the other, you know, generations haven't really been able to have like multi-generational conversations and like adopted each other's slang. Very interesting and annoying to me. But the collective lexicon specifically around like government projects or corporations and like mass projects and like heinous shit that these fuckers are doing. We're not talking about it, probably because they have all of these limitations and, you know, guidelines and shit, so they can control the conversation, the narrative, you know, let's keep it real. So that's the thing. We are all suffering because none of us are living to our full potential because of the systems that be and the ways that we are obligated to participate. And the way that it's going is that these powers that be are wanting that to be more limiting and incarcerating, if incarcerating can be a verb, or is that a, yeah, that would be a verb. Incarcerate, right? So like confined would probably be the appropriate word for that. So confined and the constant surveillance, the rolling out of AI against our will, we didn't have a say in that. I say this a lot because I don't want us to forget what happened. It was like in January, it started trickling into our apps. First they did Gemini with Google. Well, I have Google. I don't know what iPhone folks are experiencing with AI. But Gemini started popping up, or like you hit your Bluetooth. Like I got these Bluetooth headphones because I thought that they could translate languages. I'm learning 5 languages right now. I want to be able to communicate more than just English. But anyway, so I got these headphones, these Bluetooth headphones, and I didn't realize they were like AI technology, you know, because it was before it became mainstream, right? So in less than like 6 months, we've adopted it as the new normal, if we talk about the jargon left from 2020, right? But that's why they've been saying these things, you know. They've been initiating this since 2020, right? World changed. It's so frustrating to like see this. But anyway, in regards to consumerism and in regards to decolonizing, what I did was really counterproductive because I went and spent a lot of money on tangible items. But I don't want to be left with nothing. I have ADHD. I have a lot of trauma around not having electric and not having, we're autistic too, so we can like hear electricity. It's like a comforting white noise for us. It's really important that we have electricity in some capacity. So running, DVD player, like the portable DVD players and DVDs, or, the power has been going on with these monsoons that we've been getting. So I've been making sure that my phones are charged. We've got these little lamps, and then I have a Bluetooth speaker that I've been making sure is charged, and I've got a couple other, things to produce power. But when the power would go out, and it only stayed off for a couple hours one night, but that was a big deal. Niall was I was in the shower when the storm hit, so Niall knows it's dangerous to be in the shower. Don't worry, I'm going to get to my point. Am I going to get to my point? Because what am I talking about? Having alternatives, essentially. So I have a little Bluetooth speaker, so I would just transition and put on some music to make sure. So I'm just talking about, okay, I guess I went there because I'm trying to walk backwards in my mind to be why did I go that way? But anyway, I think it's important to, because I'm saying that what I did was counterproductive, but I think we all need to ask ourselves, if, and, we're seeing these disasters happen where people are having to evacuate and flee, and it's picking up, and it's, what are we willing to lose? What do we have that we don't want to lose? Questions like that. If the whole goal is to make everyone homeless and then incarcerate us into data center prisons, and then put microchips in our head to make us go work and do our thing, and we're gonna have to charge ourselves like we're phones, right? That's the trajectory that we're on. So as far as decolonizing from consumerism, my question for you, and human suffering, how are you suffering? First and foremost, how are you suffering at the hands of these capitalist systems? How are you being oppressed, used? But I think the more important thing in regards to consumerism is how much reliability? No. How much are you relying on what the systems and powers that be are giving you? If everything were to go out, would you be okay? If you had to leave and only, grab a couple things quick, are you ready for that? It's an interesting thing because I think that we've gotten so used to, I'm in this space in my life where I'm having to buy certain things at a monthly basis. I'm not just talking about food, but it's it's really annoying. It's really annoying to me to have to keep, and prices just keep going up, and it's just interesting. So my question is, how much are you relying? How deep into this system are you? Do you have, I don't have any credit cards. It would be a horrible idea for me, so I never did it, thankfully. But I like to use cash when I get it, to make big purchases. So, that's my way of navigating the system. We do have a couple, we've got Netflix and Disney Plus subscription wise. And then tangible products like animals and stuff. I have to take care of everything, but it sucks. It sucks to have to buy everything over and over again, and it feels like this endless cycle. And I know everyone's feeling like that, especially since the reward of doing that and being in this. So I'm wondering, is it part of? I feel interesting. So I'm getting this this cycle, or this Fibonacci sequence, the image of a hamster wheel, right? I feel part of why the wealth distribution has gotten so big, and if this is, this is the trajectory that they want us on, right? They want full control over our autonomy, our bodies, the things we have access to, right? Our homes, right? People are saying, they're going to be building these smart cities, but I think it's going to be worse than any of us could anticipate. But even in the last 6 years since 2020, everybody was so uncomfortable with 2020 that it made everybody want to go back. It was this collective trauma bond with the system, but everyone, that whole like, I want to go back to how it was, but it never, I think we need to be more real about how it never went back to how it was. And now, in that 6 years since, everything has gotten ridiculously out of control. It's a snowball effect. So, how much are you suffering, and how reliant is there a relationship between your suffering? Of course there is. What is the relationship between your suffering and your reliance on this system? Ooh, that was a good question. So I'm going to leave you with that. I hope that wasn't too abstract. I don't really have solutions. I like to be proactive. It makes me feel good to have tangible things. I got a trailer. Like, I've been moving to be more nomadic, able to be mobile, while paying attention to the ways that mobility is being limited. Flock cameras, ice, border walls. I mean, the mobility is being lessened at a global, World War III, people in other countries, or Americans in the very least, are getting letters from the embassies saying, like, evacuate, But the mobility has always been a way to control people, right? Like cattling, like, if you've ever been to a protest and they've cattled people, they, like, stand in a line and, like, make people go in one area. So, it's even giving, now that the Patriot Games have started, that the Hunger Games took place on the 75th anniversary. Like, the movie series started on the 75th anniversary. So if this is the first year, they're literally calling it the Patriot Games, guys. Like, what the fuck are we actually living in, right? So I don't know. I would suggest that we not let this continue. We do have power. There's people power. Money isn't even real. So if we all, go check out a couple What's Your Calling readings to help you get out of the matrix. My thing is that I think we need to be investing in, this is how I'm doing it. I'm investing in old technology. I just got us a desktop computer and a CD burner so that I can do some other shit. I think that I also invested in my own machinery in order to make stuff. So if you're thinking along the lines of, like, bartering and trade, like, I just don't want to participate in whatever the fuck this is. Like, I'm trying to keep it as low-key as possible, as long as I possibly can. And then if and when we have to move somewhere or go somewhere, or, I'm planning ahead for that too. So I don't know what to tell you. How much are you suffering, and how reliant are you on these systems, and what can you do? What changes can you make? Like, Niall and I used to be like, we'd go out all the time, especially when we lived in the RV park in Cottonwood before we came up here, and moved onto the land for a couple months with that RV. We were going out to eat all day, every day. So that's what I was spending up, because I didn't have, like, adequate cooking stuff in the RV. But now we rarely ever go out to eat, so it's like, what adjustments can you make? I just bought one of those hair clippers, because Niall's hair grows really fast, and I don't want to get his hair cut that often, so I'm going to learn how to do that. It should be here tomorrow, actually. Because he keeps putting clay in his fucking hair, then I have to cut it out, so his hair is, like, all weird and chopped up. After we got his hair cut the next day, he decided to cut his hair because it wasn't short enough. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to fix that because we're not going back. And so, yeah, it's time for mommy to do the hair. Anyway, so, like, these are the things that we are doing. At one point I was giving the animals more human food. Now all they get, like, only Niall's scraps that he leaves. And it's for the dogs, because the dogs live outside. But, like, making changes, like, allow yourself to shift and move and flow as needed. These are not normal circumstances that we're living under. These are things that the human race has, from what we have been told in our education system, This is the first time that we're having to deal with this, but I don't really believe that. But the first time any of us alive with souls have experienced this shit at this degree, this introduction of technology in all of these aspects. Again, remember the way that AI, but people weren't paying attention. And if people were paying attention, then more than likely the masses were like excited about what's coming. I think we need to be more realistic about the ways that this technology is being used by the owners of it, our overlords. All right, we need to be honest about our captivity. Okay, so have a good one. We have the power in numbers. Okay, bye.